It's been 3 weeks since I started this YouTube channel, and I thought I'd share my honest experience. I've had around 680 views, just over 22 watch hours, and 34 new subscribers. I had a few subscribers from many years ago when I put a few videos up of me playing piano. How is that? Well, ChatGPT tells me that it's above average, but I've noticed that these LLMs like to kind of butter me up and make me feel good about myself, so I'm not sure if that's really true. Certainly, it's not been easy. It's been a bit of a roller coaster. I had one video that had around 230 views, and then the one that followed it in the first day or so only had just over 10, so sort of this has a way of kind of getting your hopes up and then crushing them a little bit. I've had a range of comments, nearly all positive. I had a couple of I wouldn't say hateful comments, but perhaps more cynical or negative comments. But for the most part, it's been very encouraging. One person in particular yesterday reminded me that I now have, in his words, a large classroom of people who are listening to to what I'm saying and hopefully finding it helpful. So comments like that really make me feel good. And, you know, if I can improve the life of just one person, I mean, that just gives me a wonderful feeling. I find it a little awkward to smile at the camera. That's something I'm still getting used to. And so I think I've come across as quite serious in a lot of my videos, which may be appropriate for some of these topics, but I hope to lighten things up a little bit in the future. I've learned a ton about just the basics of making videos. I mean, things like audio settings and how to use this camera, some basic editing, things like that. I made a whole bunch of mistakes early on, and I'm really glad I took Rob the Maritimer's advice and just started before I was ready. You know, if I'd waited, I wouldn't have learnt these things. So, you know, relatively few people have watched these videos, and yet I've learnt all this stuff. So if I do have a successful one in the future, it won't have some of the, errors I made in the first 3 or 4 videos. I've only been doing this for 3 weeks, but one of the biggest benefits I've derived is that it's made me more disciplined with the kind of things in my life that I've been talking about. The best example is that I've abstained from video games completely. And that's something that I probably wouldn't have done at this time of year, over Christmas when I've got a bit of spare time. I would have been tempted to waste a lot of that time on those kind of activities that don't really bring me any long-term joy and take my time away from the more important things. So if you're thinking of starting your own YouTube channel, I'd really encourage you to do so. This isn't a YouTube growth themed channel. I'm a bit cynical about kind of making videos about making videos and doing nothing else, but it is a channel dedicated to achieving your goals and living a life of purpose. And so I think this is a great medium to kind of, unleash your creative potential and bring some kind of structure to your hobbies. So, you could even make a YouTube channel about a hobby that you're just starting out. That could be a really cool way to kind of document your progress and learn from others and encourage people along the way. So do think about it, and if you are considering taking the plunge, I agree with Rob the Maritimer. You're much better off just starting now rather than waiting for everything to be perfect, because it never will be.